The exact cause of PCOS is not fully understood. I would make Mundi Kashayam at my place and I would carry that Mundi Kashayam to the hospital. She made me that daring Sheetal. I would find it very gross working with the kind of people we get there, and especially because the exact cause of PCOS is not fully understood, although genetics may be a factor. Excessive junk food, lack of exercise are predisposing factors. As we discussed earlier in schools and colleges, how the present scenario is. PCOS affects thyroid hormone and it is a threat to glucose metabolism as it causes insulin resistance and more testosterone is produced, giving rise to coarse facial hair, acne and anovulation. Coming to diagnosis of PCOS, we have to take menstrual history, physical examination and some lab tests. So clinical manifestation of PCOS varies from mild menstrual disorder to severe disturbance of reproductive and metabolic functions. Women with PCOS are predisposed to type 2 diabetes. That is why you see all allopaths, they are writing metformin as drug of choice in all cases of PCOS, irrespective of their age, irrespective like whether they are blessed with children or not. You are already putting them that okay, you are going to get diabetes or you are already diabetic. And they also develop cardiovascular disease because of low HDL and raised LDL and triglycerides, which is very common. Factors implicated in the low fertility in these patients include anovulation, increased risk of early miscarriage and late obstetric complication. Coming to physical examination, we see extra body and face hair. Sometimes we see coarse hair on breast also and chin also, and there is raised body weight and there is raised blood pressure. Coming to lab tests, unfortunately here we have only sonographic way of knowing, and little we depend upon the hormone profile. And when this is way back in 97 and 98 when I was doing thesis on PCOD, barely 2 to 3 scanning centers were available in the whole of Hyderabad. The kind of crowd we get in government hospital, they were not willing to pay for that scanning. I would pay from my pocket and get their scan done because I wanted to write authentic values in my thesis. Sharda Bhavani madam would say, "Tere ko kya kami hai paise ka? Your husband will give. You give money, you get the scanning done and you write the authentic values here." She was like that. She was like very frank. She would say whatever that comes to her, like without thinking twice. So, I mean, that time I would feel like, why on earth I have to pay? First of all, the stipend we get is very meager. Plus, we don't have that leave facilities. And added to that, I was carrying my first child. So, it was very challenging, but ma'am was very supportive. She would say, you come, you sign. After that, you go to the DMO room and take rest. Whenever you feel good, you come and do your work. She was the one who would tell me, like, you know, you can do Uttar Basti. I would find it very gross working with the kind of people we get there, and especially because I myself was maybe say 20 weeks pregnant or something. It was very difficult for me because I used to have terrible vomitings and all. But she was very supportive. I would make Mundi Kashayam at my place and I would carry that Mundi Kashayam to the hospital. There I would do Uttar Basti with that. And she would, leaving all other work, she would send that Ayama with me. No, you go and do that process with her. She was very supportive, and all my cases I did Uttar Basti in presence of her, because if we know there are maybe say 2% chances of perforation, uterine perforation and some vaginal injuries and you know some infections, super added infections from our side or we getting infected. So many complications could arise, but she was always there for me. She made me that daring Sheetal. At the same time, I used to go to Dr. R.N. Sharma. His clinic was in Padmarao Nagar when I was doing my PG. Whenever I got chance, I would go to his clinic also to watch the Uttar Basti being done in private, how it is. So sonographic features here in PCOS, they include the presence of 12 or more follicles in each ovary, each measuring 2 to 9 mm in diameter, and or increased ovarian volume which is greater than 10 ml. and this is regardless of follicle distribution or ovarian stromal echogenicity. This is like brief about what PCOS is, because that is how if we don't have that knowledge, we cannot educate or satisfy the patient.